The holy night. There was a man who ran out in the dark night to borrow for to kind of fires. He went from hut to hut and knocked. "Dear friend, help me," said he. "My wife has just given birth to a child, and I must make a fire to warm her and the little one." But it was way in the night, and all the people asleep. Were asleep. No one replied. The man walked and walked. The man walked and walked. At last, he saw the gleam of the fire a long way off. Then he ran in that direction and saw that the fire was burning in the open. A lot of sheep were sleeping around the fire, and all separate sat and watched over her flock. When the man who wanted to borrow fire came up to the sheep, he saw the three big dog, rise as the shepherd's feet. All three awoke. When the man approached and opened their great door, also they wanted to dance, but not a sound was heard. The man noticed that the hairs on their back stood up and dressed. Their sharp, white teeth glistened in the firelight. They thrust toward him. He felt one of them bit at his leg and once at his hand, and just one clung to his throat. But the throat and his wouldn't obey them, and the man didn't suffer the least harm. Now the man reached to go further to get what he needed, but the ship lies backs to backs and so close to one another that he couldn't pass them. Then the man stepped past your points, their back and rockets over them and up to the fire, and not one out that's any more survive or move. When the man has already reached the fire, the shepherds look up. He was a surly old man who was unfriendly and harsh towards human beings, and when he saw the strange man coming, he seized the long spry staff, which he always had in the hand. When he trained his flock and threw it at him, the staff came right towards the man, but before it reached him, it turned off to one side and whizzed past him, far out in the middle. Now the man came up to the shepherd and said to him, "Good man, help me and lend me a little fire. My wife has just given birth to a child, and I must make a fire to warm her and the little one." The shepherd would rather have said no, but when he pondered the dogs couldn't hurt the man, and the sheep has not run from him, and that the staff has not wished to trick him. He was a little afraid, and there is not Dennis the man that he asked, Take as much as you need," he said to the men. But then the fire was nearly burned out. There were no long or branch left, only a big heap of blue coal. And the stranger had neither spade nor shovel, wherein he couldn't carry the red hot coal. When the shepherd saw his, he said again, "Take as much as you need," and he was glad that the man wouldn't be able to take away any coal. But the man stopped and picked gold from the ash with his bare hand, and laid them in his mantle, and he didn't burn his hand when he touched them, nor did the coal scorch his mantle, but he carried them as if they had been mud or apple. And when his shepherd, who was such a cruel and hard-hearted man, saw all this, he began to wonder to himself, "What kind of a night is this, when the dogs do not beat, the sheep are not scared, the stars does not kill, or the fire scorch?" He called the stranger back and said to him, "What kind of a night is this, and how does it happen that all things show you compassion?" Then said the man, "I cannot tell you if you yourself do not see it." And he wished to go his way, that the might soon make a fire and warm his wife and child. But the shepherd did not wish to lose sight of the man before he had found out that all his might returned. He got up and for the rest, the man 3 days came to the place where he lived. Then the surprise saw the man didn't have so much as a trust to trail in, but his wife and baby were lying in a mountain grotto where there was nothing except the coral and next door wall. But the surprise thought that perhaps the poor innocent child might freeze to death dressed in the grotto, and although he was a hard man, he was touched and thought he would like to have it, and he loosened the knapsack the knapsack from his shoulder, took from his surprise his skin, gave it to the strange man, and said that the soul should let the child sleep on it. But just as soon as he saw that he too could be merciful, his eyes were opened, and he saw what he has not been able to see before, and hears what he could not have heard before. He saw that all around him stood a ring of little silver winged angel, and have a string instrument, and a sung in loud tune that tonight the silver husband who should redeem the wolf from its sin. Then he had understood how all things were so happy this night that they didn't want to do anything wrong. And it was not only around the shepherds that there was angels, but he saw them everywhere. They sat inside the grottos, they sat outside on the mountain, and they flew under the heaven. They came marching in great companies, and as they passed and cast a glance at the child. There was a jubilation and such gladness and song and praise, and all this he saw in the dark night, whereas before he could not have made out anything. He was so happy because his eye has been opened that he felt upon his knees and thanked God. What's the suppressor? We must also see the force the angel fly down from heaven every Christmas elf. If we could only see them, you must remember this, for it is true. As true as that I see you, and you see me. It is not revealed by the light of lamp or candle, and it does not depend upon suns and moons, but it is needful is that we have such eyes as can see God's glory. By Selma Lagerlöf. Thank you everybody has share and comment and likes, and I wish you good luck and success all every you do works and do study or do love with someone. Wish you lucky and happiness every time, everywhere, and every people that you see, that you know, that you friendly. Yes, thank you. Goodbye.